Hello everybody, I am not dead yet, and today I am going to talk about the viral video that's been circling around about the creep pervert gym trainer that was caught on camera by a female gym member, and then how she got kicked out of the gym for exposing him and calling him out. As you can see, I couldn't even keep up the charade for the first half of this video to finish talking about that, so obviously it's a bunch of bullshit and I'm going to play the clip. So yeah, as you can see in the clip, she is taking her shirt off. I assume, it's the whole pump cover thing, and then she zooms in on this trainer way in the back and like the opposite end of the gym, where he has this like glances in her direction, and she like calls him out on it and shit. I want to start off by saying that like Derek moreplates.moredates.com did a video on this, and he got a bunch of views, and it's actually what inspired me to make this one. Josh the Iron Musket told me that I should, and I actually do have something to say, but a lot of people in the comment section or whatever seem to be just saying, oh, he was just looking, it was just a brief glance. We don't even freaking know if he was looking at her. Like, he was on the opposite end of the gym. Like, sometimes you just look in opposite. Hell, if you pay attention to me in my videos, I'm not always staring directly at the camera. I look off over there, sometimes at the screen in front of me. So, like, we have absolutely no idea, like, what the hell he was actually looking at. And I mean, it's obvious that this girl is fishing for it. Like, she's trying to start something. She doesn't even look at the guy when she tries to confront him, which is kind of funny. She's, oh, what did she say? Can I help you? Can I help you? Or something like that. Like, she's talking to the fucking mirror, which is like clear to me that she's like obviously watching this guy through the mirror in an attempt to, catch him for some bullshit. But like, what I want to talk to about this is that how dangerous gym culture and just kind of being in like the personal training coaching space is becoming nowadays. Because this trainer who works at the gym, like, he is lucky. He is super lucky that this girl was stupid enough to film herself and post this online. Like, this girl had the ego to think that everybody would be on her side. But realistically speaking, if she just didn't film anything and just started throwing random accusations left and right of a guy being a creep, that could have cost him his job. Like, it's a very much a situation of who's going to believe you, right? Like, it's his word against the girls, and who's going to believe the word of the guy being called a creep. And as somebody who's dealt with false accusations myself, again, I'll have Skybox Designs throw up something from when Sam Does Fitness falsely accused me of harassment. It is very much a situation like that. And this guy is very lucky because it was blatantly obvious that he wasn't doing anything. But without cameras on you all the time, it becomes difficult to really combat these types of situations, especially when it comes to women and what they say they felt, right? Because in situations like this, and again, like, I'm not saying that there aren't situations where people do bother others, or there are people who are just like, constantly staring or following people around. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I think it's also important to remember where you are. You're in public, and in public, people are going to look at you, and it doesn't matter what you're wearing or what you're doing. You will probably be noticed by someone if you're in public. If you don't want anyone to look at you, no one to see you ever, a 0% chance, work out at home and do it in a place with no windows and close the blinds or whatever. Don't fucking go to a public gym, right? And like, this isn't just, oh, if a woman doesn't want, no, it's literally anybody. If a guy feels uncomfortable with people looking at them, like, don't. Most people will probably take, and it's not even that big a deal, they will most probably take a passing glance and walk by, especially when you're doing something like taking your shirt off. Like, if there was a guy in my gym, and it doesn't matter his physique, whether he's super jacked, incredibly skinny, or fat as fuck, if he took his shirt off, I'd probably take a glance, because I'm like, oh, hey, look what that guy's doing. Just because I looked at the dude that took his shirt off mid-set, does that mean I want to run up behind him, pull his pants down, and start sniffing like my life depended on it? Yes, but that's beside the point, right? The point. Okay. Hold on. The point I'm trying to make is that if you're in public, people will probably notice you at least a little bit, just like a passing glance. It doesn't mean, for those of you that are, have gym anxiety or worried about gym intimidation, it doesn't mean that everyone's gonna be like, what you doing? How's the set, bro? Most people don't care, but if you do something or dress a certain way that will draw attention, people will probably look. That's kind of how things work. And then here's the thing, too. When I say dress a certain way to draw attention, I mean literally dress at all. Because to be honest, like I said, you're in public and people will probably find a reason to go, oh, hey, look at that person. That's probably it. That's the extent of things. The deck is stacked so much in favor of women in a situation like this that, a stunt like this without the cameras, if just somebody wanted to cry wolf, could have easily cost this man his job. And, I think it's important to start kind of looking and thinking about the ramifications of stuff like this. Because, in my experience, this isn't something that is just in the personal training space. Like, even in boxing, there was somebody, there's a coach who, helps with the sparring or whatever, and I noticed that he was always very, very, and I'm just going to say paranoid, for lack of a better term. Like, he would go up, there would be a group full of women, female sparrers, athletes, and he's just like, all right, guys, we're just going to get into the ring and have everybody, and he corrected himself, and he's like, wait a minute, hold on, you guys are okay with me calling you guys, right? Saying, oh, hey, you guys, like, that's not a problem, is it? And I remember kind of rolling my eyes and going, oh, geez, like, you really have to ask that? I don't think it's that big of a deal. But then I remember him mentioning something, I just overheard him, and he's just like, he was talking to one of the female athletes, and he's just like, yeah, I do my best to be as safe as possible because the landscape of coaching is changing, and us as coaches are kind of on the front lines of that. And you need to be on top of things. And to a certain extent, that is a good thing. Obviously, we want people to feel safe and comfortable in the gym. But at the same time, there's room for abuse in that. And even if somebody does everything perfectly, there is a chance that something could go wrong. And I mean, again, look at this. Imagine there were no cameras, no one really paying attention, and she just went to the owner of the manager and complained that one of the trainers was staring at her. And then he goes to the other guy and goes, I don't know what you're talking about. And then it's one word against the others. And it's almost a losing battle because you're arguing against feelings. You're not even arguing about like, oh, did he do anything? Well, not technically. Did he say anything? Well, not technically. But the way he was acting made me feel uncomfortable. And I'm not saying there isn't any validity to that in certain situations. But there's just so much room for potential abuse. And I'm not entirely sure what the solution is. Like, it's a dangerous landscape, and I feel like people like this, women like this woman, or people with that sort of tendency to kind of attract attention, there's lots of potential for abuse of mob mentality. And the potential to really seriously damage a trainer's reputation and potentially even stop him from getting clients and jobs later on in the future if something like this doesn't go unchecked. And honestly, I'm glad that there are people like Joey Swole, like Derek More Plates More Dates, like Josh the Iron Musket, who I know is going to react to this, like Greg, who I assume is probably going to react to this as well, that are going to call out this type of behavior because we, as a society, because I don't really know how we can really like put in rules to sort of keep this in check. I think this needs to be more of a societal thing, that when this happens, it should be drastically shamed, because these could have some serious consequences on people's lives. And here's the thing, we're not even just talking about trainers here. We can just talk about people in general, like general gym goers who kind of just go into the gym, work out, are trying to mind their own business, stare off into space in between their sets while they're resting, and then are suddenly being called a creep and a perv and kicked out of their gym because some woman decided that she wanted attention that day. Or, hell, that whole gas station debacle that I did a video responding to, where, you just try to approach someone and talk to them because you want to be friendly, you want to say hi, and potentially the gym is a social place for you. The gym is a social place for a lot of people. So you try to approach someone, be nice, and then suddenly you're labeled as this massive creep for simply walking up and trying to initiate a conversation. I think that there should be some form of awareness from everyone as a society that, like, this shit just straight up isn't okay. And also, my issue with these types of videos, not only these videos fishing for this kind of negative attention, because if you are somebody who lives like that, and you know, I highly doubt you'd be in my audience if you are, given the myriad of other videos and opinions I've given on topics similar to this, but if you are someone that lives like that somehow happened to stumble across this video and watch this far, I encourage you to let go of that negative mindset, because that negative mindset will follow you around for the rest of your life, and you'll just become bitter. You're going to think that everybody's out to get you, that everybody wants to hurt you, that everybody is treating you poorly or just sees you as a sex object, and that is not a way to live life. You cannot live a happy and healthy life while holding on and refusing to let go of everything that hurts and upsets you. You just cannot do it. And it feeds, it's a negative cycle that feeds into your own narcissism, where you believe that everything revolves around you and that the world is out to get you, and it's just a means to a downward spiral. So if there's anybody out there, man or woman, because this can happen to anybody for a variety of topics, if that what I just described applies to you, I encourage you to do your best to take a step back. But even beyond the individual, this, in my opinion, also encourages that negative mindset onto others and onto other women, right? It's like the same thing I said about the whole gas station situation, where it was like, that is the mindset of the whole, you know, oh, any man could hurt us at any point, so we have to be wary of every man. That is the mindset for the paranoid. And yes, I'm not saying that you should trust everybody. Be cautious, but don't go out of your way thinking everyone is a terrible person. It's negativity. I believe in life, it's look and you shall find. If you are looking for the worst in life, you will find it. But if you're, because it's there, right? Like, the world is a dark place, or at the very least it can be. But if you're also looking for the good in life, you will find it as well. And I'm not saying ignore the bad. I'm not saying completely throw that away, because that is stupid. That will get you hurt. I'm saying be able to recognize that, you know, it may not be as bad as it seems. Be willing to give the benefit of the doubt. Hanlon's razor. Attribute not to malice where ignorance or stupidity would suffice, but don't rule out malice. You know, essentially don't rule out the possibility of people trying to hurt you, but don't immediately assume that they are. And again, this is an extreme example, but there are many other examples of something similar to this, only a little bit more dialed back and a little bit more believable, that have probably hurt a lot of innocent men and women, right? Like, innocent people. And encourages, and it's not only just the innocent people, the victims aren't only the innocent people that were accused of being a weirdo or a creep or whatever, and whatever consequences come from an accusation like that, but also just the people who follow these types of accounts and subscribe to a similar mentality that lead them, that subscribe to a mentality that will lead them down a life filled with negativity and only seeing the worst in others. And I think it's important for us as a society to truly recognize that this, in all forms, is not okay. And I'm genuinely glad that, you know, this is being called out, and that people are recognizing that this is stupid, narcissistic, and attention-seeking at best, and downright malicious, and straight up, you know, evil, or attempting to, like, hurt somebody else at worst. And with the landscape of the world, I think it's important to give others a bit of compassion. You know? Not just the most obvious people who deserve compassion, like the person that cries out about the person who made them feel uncomfortable. I think it's also important to listen to the side of the accused. Not always, you know, everybody talks about justice for the accuser, but what about justice for the accused? And I think that situations like what happened with Johnny Depp And even just the current situation between Jada Pinkett Smith, aka Saitama, and William Smith is also helping and shift that view of, who can be a victim and what it means to truly manipulate a situation and manipulate societal perception for your own gain. I understand that it's up to coaches and trainers and everyone else to provide a safe and effective environment for someone to learn, but I also think it's also the responsibility of the client to provide a safe and effective opportunity for the coaches and trainers to teach. And I find that the latter is often forgotten. And I don't want to see coaches living in paranoia and fear about accidentally saying or doing the wrong thing or upsetting the wrong person. But I'm seeing that shift happen, and it genuinely worries me. This was an extreme and it was caught on camera, and thank goodness for that, but I wonder how many situations like this that weren't quite as extreme and weren't caught on camera and were just a little bit more believable that, didn't get the attention and justice that it deserved. It's something to think about. But I believe that is all I have to say for this video. I would like to thank Skybox Designs for editing it. I genuinely cannot stress how much his editing has helped me. Without him, I would not be able to upload. Him offering to edit for me for free, by the way, in exchange for these shoutouts, has literally saved my YouTube channel. So please support me, support him. Go follow him and do whatever you have to do. In terms of support, I would also like to thank all of my Patreon supporters, because you guys show that people want me to keep making content, and it gives me the motivational push I need to keep going when I am just dead tired and I've got a million things on my plate and I don't feel like filming a video. You guys help get me through that. Thank you very much. If you would like to support me in any way, shape, or form, I have all of my affiliate links for HTLT in the description, as well as my PayPal and my Patreon. But that is it for everything, all the supports and all that. So until the next one, remember, I am not dead yet. Only the strong subscribe, and if you aren't dead either, there is always a tomorrow waiting for you.